us, and so that we start in a timely manner, I'm gonna give you the floor.
Oh, we're starting now, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'll move the slides for you if you want me to.
Yes, I'd love you
Okay.
to. I'm not that nifty. Yes, my name is Sam Williams, and I'm from the Theater Arts Department, co-chair with Kathy Burleson. And what this wonderful picture, we're talking about celebration, what wonderful colors we have for our first slide. And then there's our second one there. With our website, we do, as it says on here, we do update our website and social media sites each semester with every production. We do like 4 productions, main stage productions, but we do a lot of other productions during the year. Some of them are student ran and student directed, which is great. And so we change our website for those things to get the word out. We can go to, we will. And there's some pictures of, that's me directing some folks up there in yellow, and just some other shows that we're doing. We're always doing a lot of our stuff is very hands-on, as you can see. So we can go ahead to the next one. And we've been, especially the last couple of years, we've been really trying to focus on Latinx students, African-American students. The data has shown that we're low in our success rates. And we've been working on stuff for a long time. And so it's disheartening when you don't see it growing sometimes. But we just have to keep on going and trying new things. It's what we want to do, especially doing something and then think, what if we do something different? Got that from some folks in the room here. What we've done lately, we've done the Wiz, which of course is a celebration of a lot of Black cultural music and everything else that's going on. Skeleton Stories was done a few years ago. But Delandra Mesa, and a lot of, again, history, Latinx history. And the wonderful thing about when you do stories, we have Jenny Lim here, and Jenny Lim and Elizabeth Wong, all these artists that we work with, Naomi Izuka. You not only do the students learn about them, but we do. We don't know all these things, and that's what's so wonderful about doing all these plays. The audience gets to get to know more about music that's different than something that they've maybe heard, but we do too. We're learning, and so the whole group is really elevating together. Our successes have been that we have had more diversity in our audience. We've had more diversity in the people who are auditioning as well, and then that's the goal of it all. The first show I did here, I came in years ago, and the first show I did was to be Young, Gifted, and Black, which coming right off the bat, I like to tell students of any group and every group that not only are you welcome, but you're needed. And so we could not do some of the shows without having people who have backgrounds into those various cultures and ethnic groups. So that's what we've done. We've gone out, we've had to shake the bushes to get people sometimes to come in, but that's what we need to do. So that's a good thing about that. So we did celebrate a lot of the cultures. Every culture that we work with, we're celebrating that culture. We have updated textbooks and films. I talked to Nancy Silva, and she was telling me some about the diversity classes she has changed to. And of course, I know some that I've changed for the history. A lot of it's the history books too, and history films and stuff like that. But she has the diversity in films that she says she's always changing films, and that we can go on, Veronica. Okay, thank you so much. There it is again. A lot of the folks that we work with. A lot of the folks that we work with. So I just want that as conducting, that would be Tracy Martin. And it takes a village to put on these shows, which is the challenge of when on paper, the data, we look like there's like 5 teachers and, 40 students or something like that. But it takes that to do because it takes all these different skills. So it's can sometimes be confusing to what we're doing over there. We'll go to the next. Thank you. Now, some of the strategies. We need to really refocus and revitalize our touring theatrical productions to reach high schools, middle schools, and elementary. We've been going to middle schools and elementary ever since I've been here, so that's 25 years. And that's been going great, but now we want to, this year, we're going out to high schools as well. Now, you may wonder, why weren't we going to high schools before? We were. I used to go to about 20 high schools a year, performing about Scott Joplin and who else? Scott Joplin, where's my head at? We would celebrate America at some of these performances, and Langston Hughes, different shows that we would go out to. And so I did that for maybe 7 years. And then I started getting a little older. Things start saying, slow down here a little bit now. But we need to get back to that, and we plan to get back to that as well in the future. One of the asset strength-based approaches that we really love, it's actually called diversity, the diversity show. The name of it that most of us know it by, our students and us, is called Gumbo. Because in Gumbo, you're putting together all these different things and different parts of the recipe, which includes all of us. And so the way this, my daughter actually came and she volunteered for all these, whatever, 10 years, 11 years that we've been doing it. And she came up with the idea once she went to New Orleans, and she came back, and she has a heart, and I do too, but she has a heart for sometimes people who don't get in shows because maybe they're in a wheelchair. They don't get in a show because their voice is very quiet, whatever the reason being. So what with this show called Gumbo, it is not script based. We don't have a script. We write the script after we cast the show. We do pick a theme. We pick themes like aging and gender and freedom and America and endangered species and all kinds of stuff like that. And then the students, they come in and they bring in whatever talents they want to share. And some of it you can share with anything, because sometimes people are juggling. You can put that with pretty much anything. But some have poems that they've written themselves. And so once we get all those together, we put the show together in 4 parts. And so what we're doing is that we're celebrating each individual, and we're also celebrating what they bring to the table. And sometimes they will direct some stuff, sometimes they'll choreograph stuff. Mainly it's usually Sarah and myself directing those shows. But that's one thing that we have for that. How long I got here too?
Oh, sorry, there was,
Okay, I was just wondering. Now, to increase the opportunities, we have some other shows. Let's see if I can get to this. Oh, yes, we have a show that happens, a festival that happens every year. It's called the 10-Minute Festival. And students direct all the plays there. They pick the plays. They have to find the royalties for those plays. And hopefully when the audience comes in, we can use some of that money to pay for it. But it's a whole thing where they produce it themselves. We also have had shows produced by our theater art department. We have the Improv Club. And this year, though, the star, this year, the last couple of years, it's been the star. It's been the newly formed film club who's been putting out some shows and also getting help from the awesome grant award that's over also there. And that's been really great for all of our fine arts students, but it's also been a blessing for our theater film students as well. I think we can go on. Thank you. So I can just hit that, huh?
Yes,
Let me just act like I know what I'm doing. Anyway, here's some pictures here as well of things that we do. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff back there with people working. Remember this picture that's back here with the set. We're going to come back to that when I talk about some of our concerns or needs. So let's see if this works. Here's some support that we do need. Let me get to my correct page. I think it's 4. Yes, 4. This is coming more from Kathy, because she knows more about these technical things than I do. But we need to upgrade our 20-year-old lighting and sound equipment. We are able to do some shows. We have a reputation. We have a reputation now in region, whatever it is, 8 that we're in with the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival. We have a reputation there because we put on some really stunning shows. A lot of it is because of our students. A lot of it is because of our faculty. A lot of it is because the way the faculty are using the technical things, devices. And so that's why that is very important to us to upgrade those things, to keep it going, what we're pushing with. Some of our students learn from these tools and go on to work at Music Circus. Some of them have actually gotten jobs over there as interns, and then it turns into jobs and things of that nature for costuming as well as technical things. So it really does help them. It's much, I won't say it's much easier, but more students are able to get jobs in technical theater, of course, than acting, because everybody wants to be on stage. But those people who have those skills off stage, they're able to get jobs and start moving around a little quicker. some of our students, with going out, since we're talking about going out, our students are really excelling in the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival. We've had national awards. I think we've had 5 national awards in the last, since Cabaret. Cabaret had 2 national award winners. In the last 2 years, we've had 3 others who've gone on to win national awards. We have some who are up for national awards this year. The name is getting out there, and that's a good thing. It's good nationally, but it's more important locally because those are the people that we're serving. So when you do that and people hear these things, hopefully they will continue to come to be a part of our theater. We need more smart rooms, and I don't even know what that is exactly. I did ask Kathy, and she explained it to me, but it kind of did that little thing. So
It's all this.
we need some smart rooms because of the demands and expectations of the students who are coming in. Because the thing is, they're already messing with this. They're working with this stuff, and if we don't have it when they get here, they'll look someplace else. And also, the businesses want them to be schooled in this kind of stuff when they go out. Home base has been a huge blessing, I will tell you that. It's just been a blessing for us, and I just wanted to mention that because I've walked students over. They found some stuff, so that has been a good point. We are going to need, we hope that we can get our faculty replaced. I'm leaving this year. We've lost, I don't know, in the last 2 years, we probably lost maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 adjuncts, and then myself and another full-timer, Nancy. So it's, when you see people of color or anyone who looks like you, whoever you are, when you see those people in a teaching position or a directorial position, of course, we all know that that helps to pull you in. It gets your attention. You go, hey, that applies to me. And so we're hoping that 5 years from now that we have even more diversity, or at least as much more diversity in our teaching and in our hiring. I think I'll go to the next, and we must be getting close to 10 minutes. I think that's all I have. And again, here are more of our wonderful students.
I have about 4 minutes.
Oh, I can relax a little bit. Here's some issues, and some of them are also opportunities, as you well know. Issues are kind of opportunities as well. So let me see. I want to go into this one. Yes. It is tricky with having really big classes, and you look at the data and you might see how many people in classes. It's sometimes hard to do quality work and have big classes, but that's our challenge, and we accept that challenge. Some of the challenges are that sometimes people who might be challenged in one ability or another, it's going to take more time. That's just like any other class, but some of ours can be dangerous. If they take a lighting class, then they're supposed to be going up to do lighting stuff and focus stuff and learning those types of things. And so we would love to have, I think that's going to be on another sheet. No, it's going to come now. We'd love to probably talk more with counselors and talk more with DSP and S as we work to make sure that when students are put into the classes, that it's safer for them, and that we will know, because we've already done some things to change. Of course, we all of us adapt, and that, like I said, it's just an opportunity. But we need to meet more often and make sure that hopefully, if we can know that students are coming in before the semester starts, that is so much helpful, especially when you have things where people are climbing or they're doing things that might be dangerous. Then we can try on our end to be prepared. And also, any aides that come in to help them should not be afraid of heights if it's about heights. So we have to talk about who's going to come in and help. It's little technical things like that. I would say they might be thought of as issues, but they're really opportunities if we can just sit and talk about stuff. Desire. Oh, and here's something I don't know all of what it means, but I can read it. We need more access to the updating of the official campus website. And I don't have any more information about that, but that's something Kathy works with that. So that's something we would also desire. And I already mentioned that we desire more support for more conversations, not more support. I think we get enough support, just more conversations. So we're going to have to maybe just find ways to talk. So we're there for the students. That's all we need to do. I'm gonna put my glasses on. I think I might have 2 minutes left. I'm gonna read a lot of this. This is just from Kathy, my co-chair. And this is what happened just maybe 2 weeks, no, maybe more. I guess it was the middle of February, actually, at the last one. We didn't have anyone who's already in nationals, but there's someone who's right there waiting at the door to go to nationals. So we have Rona Bernadette Arrogancia, Bernie, that's how I know her, but Bernie. But runner-up for the Irene Ryan acting competition, which is made it to the final 17 out of 280. We have Alexandra Wilson, who has already won national awards. She's just bad to the bone. She won a spot on the first alternate team. There's not, if the winning team cannot go to the national competition, then Bernie and Alexandra will. Callan Gentry. Callan is also a CSUS student and an ARC student, and she participated in both of them. And she is an Irene Ryan candidate for, no, she was for a candidate for the Irene Ryans, but she also won the MTI, the Music Theater, I can't remember the last little thing, but competition, and will go on to compete at the Kennedy Center in the Nationals. So she's there in the Nationals. Braden Plum was a finalist in the Musical Theater Initiative Vocal Competition, and he sang for about 400 people. Again, that Alexandra Wilson is there as a finalist for the Musical Theater Initiative. That's what that is, Initiative Dance Competition. So she danced for an audience about 400. Since this is a celebration type of thing, yes, we know we have a lot of work to do. We do. We have a lot of work to do. We're not where we would like to be. And at the same time, what pushes us up is when our students keep going and doing stuff like this. It'll keep you going. It'll keep you going. So I thank you for this opportunity to celebrate with you, and I look forward to listening to more of your celebration. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ooh, that's a nice picture.
that's
too. I had to get one more in, you
There
know,
you go.
show these folks I know what I'm doing.
I don't know if you have a couple minutes to take any questions.
I
Are there
do.
any questions on the floor? As I pull up others.
I have a
Yes.
comment and then another question. So I have tried to attend as many shows as
You-
possible. and
Thank you.
I am impressed, completely impressed every single time. The one that stood out for me, which I'm grateful you mentioned it here, was Gumbo. And I loved hearing how you, how it doesn't, you bring the actors on before you even begin that. And so I just really want to say how appreciative I am. And when was the last program review? Do you recall?
It would have been 6 years
Around
ago.
that 6 or
Oh,
7.
maybe more.
I was gonna say,
But yeah, so this,
Okay.
yeah.
What has worked really well for you all in that, since that time? And I see some of the needs that will be, I wrote down some of the needs that we'll be taking note of, but what has worked well in that you seem to have changed in the last 7 years?
I don't know if they're changes because we're always changing. So the plays that we have done, like Skeleton Stories, the Jenny Lim was before that. Elizabeth Wong was one, and it was a really interesting. So when you do these plays, and they're always different, and every playwright is different, it helps to change things because they're different. And so each film that we bring in, that's different because they're all new. So the approaches, we're doing a new approach now to do something different with touring, but it really is the artists that come in that you're doing their work. And then we're learning so much about them. And so each artist that comes in, and so just some of the ones, I can name them really quick, sorry, that have been done recently. There it is. Was Delandra Mesa, who did Skeleton Stories, and Naomi Izuka, we did Anonymous, and that was so different. It's different styles. And so it makes all of us different because we were going, wow. It was so perfect. We did it as a gumbo, actually. And it was just, so many times it is the approach, but many times it's the people coming in or the artists that you're using that I think is making the difference. And because of what you choose, it makes you go for an audition audience, if that, you know what I mean? You've got to have more people now. And so we'd like to put ourselves in that position where we're not just going to do a play that needs 6 men, 4 women, or whatever the case may be. We want to get out and need others. And some of that is specificity of your talent with groups, ethnic groups and stuff.
Yeah, I want to add a little, just thank you. You know, I recognize, I was lucky enough to be your dean for,
Yes,
I
thank
know
you.
how much time, effort, energy, it's like, people say faculty work hard and it's so true everywhere. And when you say different, I feel like you open doors to different perspectives.
Yes,
and
we do. I
Expand
see it.
brains
Help
and
me.
it's amazing. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I have another question, sorry. As you probably know, the Board of Trustees has an initiative that I know the college has been very moving forward in as well for OER ZTC materials, open education resources, 0 textbook costs for our students. Can you tell me a little bit, sorry, I came a little bit late, the presentation had already started, but I don't know if you shared about this, but can you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in your department in the push for OER ZTC materials? What are some things that y'all are contending with?
We have gone to things where you don't need, like in our plays, they don't have to buy their scripts and stuff like that. We handle all of that, so we can make that an opportunity. That's probably one of the biggest ones that we do zero in on. But also we try to do that with our classes as well and find ways. I'm surprised students kind of help me a whole lot to find stuff that's online that's free or something like that. And also we've got some stuff from the library, of course, that tells us stuff that they've had some of our books that provided them to the students. And we do try to look at, I have a class that needs 4 textbooks, but most of the textbooks, even by today's prices, like they're like under $20, which is like crazy. I mean, so there are some, and so I stick with those, and they're great books too. They're anthologies of different groups. And so we look that way to try to make sure we're doing that. That's the same thing I think Nancy was saying that she did with her film class. So you just have to hunt and find out how you can do some things, because of course it is, sometimes I guess it would look, it looks pretty more impressive when you go to be articulated into some of the other schools, the higher education, if you had a textbook in there, because they'll ask me what textbook they use sometimes. So I think we have some good ones, and they're not real expensive. One of them is more expensive. It's like $100 and some, but they've been able to get it in cheaper fashions, which is really a blessing.
Alrighty. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And the floor is gonna be yours. Kind of intimidating when you have the ITC here and you're like, I'm just gonna let you guys manage this.
Theater, it's like, that's gonna be the big show.
You guys take it away.
Just arrows. All right.
And I meant to ask, do you want questions in between or at the end? How do y'all want to roll?
I think at the end, because I already determined I have to apologetically read to you to make sure I don't get off track and use our
Okay.
time talking about things we didn't intend
I
to
like
talk
to make
about.
sure I establish the boundaries.
Thank you for asking. All right, we are the Instructional Technology Center. I'm Pamela Bimby. I'm your Distance Education Coordinator, and this is,
I'm Lori Hokerson, and I'm the Universal Design and Accessibility Coordinator.
and we are here. Alice Daly is in the room. She's our Instructional Development Coordinator. Hit it. All right.
She had to read that.
We were reminded that this is a celebration, so I wanted to just put this slide in here just to call this out. The ITC has long upheld a standard of excellence around distance education, empowering faculty and staff to create inclusive and engaging learning experiences. Milestones since our last review, which was actually 8 years ago because of COVID. We survived COVID. That has been well celebrated, so I won't go into depth on that one, but it was a sharp pivot. And of course, our department went from, supporting directly maybe 130 faculty to all the faculty and all the staff and anybody who needed anything. Less obvious, I want to be sure to celebrate our virtual education center and our last DE plan, which were both phenomenal and neither of which are relevant to college anymore, which is a little sad. But we have a DE plan due next year, so we'll get to revisit that. We joined the equity cohort of the California Virtual Campus Consortium. Our ongoing advocacy training and support, IDC coordinators work locally with districts across the state and even at the federal level to stay current on research-based effective practices, engaging in discussions regarding policies and regulations, and advocating for our stakeholders, employees, and students alike. Results of this work have impacted ARC's adoption of the CBC OEI rubric, which led to the creation of our Rubric Academy, which is the basis of the district's fast track peer online course review, which also includes the Peralta Equity rubric. That's our choice. Nobody told us to do that. We adopted the Ally Accessibility tool, which serves faculty in helping create accessible courses, as well as serving students in being able to access alternate versions of content that faculty put in their Canvas shells. We adopted Name Coach, the Culturally Responsive Teaching and Learning Institute from @ONE, which we worked with the CTL to adapt for the ARC community. All this work impacts our curriculum work, conversations on online proctoring, and of course, AI, which is probably the only time I'm going to say AI. And of course, we're always trying to find ways to close communication gaps. And just this semester, our new distance education committee through the academic senate just began its work. That's it too long. Historical perspective, as highlighted in ARC's educational master plan, always an inherent struggle with just technology gap when you're talking about online education, and we found during COVID that was true for all of our employees as well. So a lot of things happened through the district and the college in response to COVID, which we'd kind of been cheerleading for and finally came to be, including providing technology and hotspots and getting rid of wet signatures and all that stuff. This isn't on my thing. Okay. At the same time, it has presented opportunities for some groups that may not otherwise have been able to attend college, including those needing the flexibility in scheduling, as well as students with varying disabilities who may not want to seek accommodations through DSPS, but do want a modality where accessibility is supposed to be built in. Yes, I think on there. Thank you. With dedicated training and support, this is statewide. The success gap between online and on-ground courses had closed to about 2% prior to the pandemic, and ARC was on track with that. Disaggregated, you can see gaps between DI populations remain, has that rising tide lifts all ships phenomenon. But thanks to the high standard of excellence at ARC, our data reflected those gains. A closer look at our DI populations found that the disproportionate impact was closing at a slower rate. I was actually happy as of fall 2014, all of these numbers are better. The largest gap in fall of 24 was African Americans at -5%. But the data, we'll talk about this later, but the data is really crazy. The way online courses are coded to even look at the data changed before COVID, and then it got really messy during COVID, and then there's just COVID. So the data is really icky. So we're just at a point now in the last 2 or 3 years where we're building a new foundation where in our next program review, hopefully we'll get to really highlight all of that more. I think that you.
Okay, so we at the ITC are engaged in a variety of equity advancing efforts. Again, focusing on instructional support for across all learning modalities, right? Which is each one's unique to themselves. We do provide technology training and support across different technologies like Canvas, Zoom, Camtasia, Snagit. Again, advocating these tools to help keep students engaged with learning. Accessibility support and guidance is something that's sort of embedded into everything that we do. Obviously, the district has invested some resources more recently, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. Representation and advocacy in local district state committees. So again, there's a variety of committees we serve on across the district that do expand throughout the state. Involvement in DE guidelines and policies, again, trying to ensure that all students have access to learning in those environments, focusing on something, a big issue, regulatory, what do you call it? Accreditation issue is the regular and substantive interaction piece. So we're highly involved in, in trying to instruct faculty and support faculty in doing that within their classrooms. We are involved in evaluating emerging educational trends and technologies. I'll say AI, but I don't know if I'll say it much more than that. There's our two AI things. But again, there's other educational trends as well. Classified professionals workshops, we participate in those and develop those and provide accreditation support as well. So a lot of what we do that's visible is the instructional support that we provide across the campus. We do this in a variety of ways. So we have our ITC web site, which we maintain, and it has extensive resources for faculty to sort of self-help access on their own. We do provide training and support in instructional technology. We do this in a variety of ways, which are down the list a little further. One of the things that we've been doing is incorporating the universal design principles as sort of a mechanism to do that. And again, sort of the district's investment in my current position. But I know Alice and Pamela, and I've been working with them on the other end of the spectrum, and they've been doing this all along anyway. But I think with my recent addition, I think we've been trying to really sort of embed that across everything. We do Flex Week programming, customized trainings, workshops and academies. I think I have some statistics. I didn't go farther back than just the current academic year, but just in this academic year, we've had, I counted 334 faculty engagements. Those aren't unique. Those are sometimes, repeat.
Duplicative.
Yes, duplicative, but that's very on the minimum. It doesn't include our externally hosted trainings like through Camtasia. We also do, I'm doing a collaboration with Equity right now, a community of practice called Rethinking Assessment, and we tend to have about 13 on average regular participants. I'm also running a CAST, Universal Design for Learning series. We had a total of 7 trainings. I got that through SEAP funding. We do drop-in labs, multiple throughout the week, and that's this far in this calendar or academic year, we've had 113 total drop-ins. That doesn't include email correspondence that we do as well. So we do provide the responsive support. We do weekly newsletters and collaborative departmental assistance. I think this is still me, right? Yep. Okay, so again, in regards to strategies for next steps, everything we do really kind of matches up with college competencies of being equity-minded, service, effective communication, technology proficiency, collaborative innovation, and specialized expertise, really kind of where our competencies are. So we're always advocating for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in everything that we do. We try to engage in outreach with all employee groups, because again, everything that we do is open to all employee groups, even though instructional faculty are the ones who they're often tailored to, but still open to everybody. We engage in those local, district, and statewide discussions and through committees, and also just some of our sort of networking that we do as we meet people across the state and some of the trainings we attend. And we are continuously advocating for our colleagues and students. Oops, wrong. Okay, there. Also, we try to promote effective teaching and learning, again, through professional development opportunities and support the interests and needs of faculty, staff, and students, also based on emerging issues, we try to target our support based on those. I don't know, provide professional development that incorporates equity and accessibility. I feel like I said this already. And then always looking for new methodologies, technologies to support student success. And then again, trying to embed universal design in everything we do. Sort of universal design encompasses access, accessibility, and equity. It's a really great framework that if we can really get some momentum to support faculty and staff across the campus, I think is a really good way to move ARC towards a lot of its goals, strategic goals. Let's see, encourage third-party publishers. Again, as we're looking at technologies, we're always looking at things like accessibility and how they can be used to employ universal design, looking for new strategies, and basically everything that we do. So again, universal design lens has been present in the ITC, but I think has gotten a nice boost with the district's investment in the UDA positions. I think that's you now, yeah.
That is me. These are all kind of continue to things we'll continue to make sure what we're doing is current and relevant to our community, including continuing to review our data and encouraging our faculty to look at their own course level data as well. All right, what we need to support our DEI efforts. Top of the list is performance reviews. Our last accreditation cycle really underscored the way that our PRTs are negotiated through the union. We need the PRT teams to follow up and ensure that faculty are doing everything they're supposed to be doing. Basically came to the understanding that most of what the DE review is in a PRT is just part of a casual conversation and not built into the actual PRT review. Which union members, anybody, we can have a conversation about. But until and including and with and any of that, it's really, it wraps around to the PRTs. We do the training and the support. We do not do the auditing. Everybody loves that word. Yes, and that includes ACC-JC Standard 2.6, which asks college to ensure equitable student learning and achievement and using results to guide improvements. Research, I already referenced kind of the history with Precision Campus and how the data isn't really there, so we'll keep building on that. And then personnel, Lori has referenced, her position is a temporary position through the district. We did have a UDL coordinator going into the pandemic. When I was hired, this was a 9-person team. And we had a lot of support, and that dwindled down to 2 people by the middle of the pandemic closures, right when we're supporting more people and doing more work. So we're still trying to really rebuild that. And another piece of accessibility that the district provides is the accessibility team that we call colloquially the A-team. And we've learned that's going away this semester as well. So the import for the college to have a dedicated accessibility and UDL specialist is really, really imperative. What else? There's recently been a conversation about potentially adding an instructional designer, which is not a terrible idea. I'd vote for the UDL coordinator first. And our annual unit plan annually outlines the need for classified support since we lost our web and media design specialist position. A classified position would provide web support, provide additional trainings as part of the ITC staff. They'd be compelled to have or develop knowledge in accessibility and equitable practices, develop training materials, explore and help test new educational technologies to the benefit of educators and students, and be a point of contact, notably for the ITC when the faculty coordinators are otherwise off contract, which is always real fun at spring and winter and summer break to make sure that our faculty are getting consistent support, because we know faculty don't stop working.
All right, and so I think Pamela already mentioned some of the issues for the need for continued and probably increased accessibility support. There's always the discussion there. Yes, there's a legal obligation, but really the obligation is for student success. When you do accessibility, it benefits all of our students. So again, yes, there are changes that are impending with the, I think I'll talk about it later. Was it the April of 2026, the revised WCAG guidelines for accessibility sort of need to be fully implemented. And again, that's something that we need to support with. Let's see. And the District Instructional Accessibility Committee is promoting that the district and all the subsequent colleges invest time and energy into adopting the accessibility capability maturity model, which is to weave accessibility into everything we do at all levels of the organization. And then our facilities, our training room technology is quite old and needs to be replaced. It's hard to be the instructional technology center with old equipment. And so again, aligning that with not only new equipment, but creating a multifunctional space that has a flexible range of teaching and learning experiences. I guess, as said in the previous, a smart room, right? So really kind of bringing the ITC up to the modern day technology. So. A smaller. Let's see. So other issues and increasing demands, again, with the changes coming down the road for the need for accessibility support. I already talked about that. Continuing issues with our regular substantive interaction and the importance with that. Let's see. Faculty workload, obviously, there's some issues that we do see. I'd like to see more attendance, faculty engagement at trainings, but I just know that the time and energy is sort of not abundant, maybe is the word. So again, I think faculty workload from those who are engaging with our trainings, but also our ability to provide the robust access to those trainings, because we are a team of 3, almost 2.5, I guess you could say. But again, right now, we're a small team with a number of faculty and staff who need support. So again, that's a challenge for us. Let's see. And the intermittent district support for accessibility, and then the decreased size in team members. So yeah.
All right, and then at the end of our program review, there are other issues. We are serving more people with less, as we've highlighted. We do have now the union negotiated teacher preparation requirement, which, you know, there are pros and cons. There's something where we had nothing, but it is also, it was built on our Keep On Teaching emergency response course that we threw together when the pandemic hit. It's only a 15-hour training. It tries to do a lot in 15 hours, especially if you've never used Canvas. You could spend 15 hours just learning Canvas. So while there's other content in there, you're probably not getting into the meat of RSI and accessibility and UDL. Whereas previously it used to be Dean's right of assignment to encourage faculty to complete our 3-unit value OTI, where they not only delved into all of that, but they started to build the course and got practice and feedback in doing that. And of course, all course shells must now be published. That doesn't all require an OTI level training. So that's actually room for us to develop something just for the faculty who aren't really using Canvas for anything except those union requirements. And the Union Negotiated Preparation Foundations 1 keeps getting missed in onboarding because we hear from faculty who need help and we ask them if they've signed up for it and they're like, what's that? So support from the community in that as well. And some faculty, the way the agreement was written, if you're already teaching online, then you are considered prepared to teach online, but a lot of those faculty only started teaching online because of COVID, and they went in with emergency response and they just got the basic logistics and they're still doing it that way and they haven't moved into best practices. And then the absence of our student-facing dedicated hub for online resources and information. The Virtual Education Center, I referenced it earlier, is something we wanted to celebrate. It was a student-facing hub of student services that were available online. direct contact to online counseling and tutoring and everything. It was also a venue for us to market, if you will, our fully online degrees and programs. Which once the VEC was retired, the only place that did that was the CVC on our behalf, and they no longer maintain that webpage either. So we have programs like our online music department, our music degree, which is the only fully online music degree in the state of California. And we're not marketing it to our students. So we'd really like to see some focus put on how we can reach our fully online students with that information. Okay, AI one more time. I asked AI for an image of a beaver raising its hand as if it had a question. This is a woodchuck. This is
Close, close.
all right.
Yes, the floor is open for questions. It's so cute.
It is so cute.
I did go back until it fixed the tail, but
Well, I'll start with the question. So I want to say thank you because I know how much you all do and you know the work that you've done with even the dean's teams. But if there was one thing that you wish faculty knew, what would that one thing be
You like
about what you can do or what you offer?
about what we offer. Ooh, that's like elevator speech level. One thing. Gosh. We can help you make your teaching experience better in addition, while you are helping your students.
Nice.
I just would like to say, I mean, you know that I have reached out to you on multiple, both in my faculty role and then now in management. You have been amazing. Thank you for all the ways in which you support the work that happens here, not just faculty, student, but it's all the reach. And I appreciate what you've provided.
I like to acknowledge you guys are amazing on email. And no, really, I mean, I wish I could reply as quickly as you guys.
I'm gonna echo actually the combination of Michelle and Veronica, because both of you know that I have sent some really kind of what I feel like are off-ball questions to the email. And you both have gotten back to me with answers on these things where I'm like, I tried to find the answer myself and I cannot find it. And really, really appreciate the quick response, but also the very thorough in terms of really helping me work through what was either an issue that I had or one that I was connecting you on behalf of one of my faculty. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'll also echo the gratitude because I know I've seen your work and sat in on a couple of your trainings. Tell me more about AI though. I want to. Instead of right? Because I mean, I you all right with the. So I'm just, what are you seeing from faculty? Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be all the, what are you seeing from faculty about AI and what more support do we need? I'm just curious. Share a little bit more.
It's a very wide range, and even amongst the three of us, we have differing experiences and opinions and approaches to AI. I attended the district summit last semester and sat on a panel. The response is as varied as you might assume it would be. I hear concern for adjunct faculty. If tenured faculty decide, I don't want to teach online because I don't want to deal with AI, then AI or the online courses get shuffled more to adjunct faculty. And as someone who is always an advocate for, if you don't want to teach online, please don't. You know, I don't want that pressure put on somebody to take a contract because that's all that's being offered. I wish I had a crystal ball to look 10 years in the future and see where we end up with it. I'm just fascinated. I watch it from a copyright perspective, and not even like what's been fed into it, but the creation, like who owns that copyright. It's all fascinating to me. There are tools that are being implemented. We have Conmigo in Canvas now. The district is being very particular and careful to only provide AI tools that faculty can opt in or opt out of. So it's totally at your comfort level, what you want to use or not use, and how you want your students to use it or not use it. I'm just going to say the thing out loud. I think we're wasting money by paying for Turnitin's AI checker. I think it's always going to be behind, thank you, behind the technology as AI develops. I just heard from somebody today that they had 2 separate instructors submit the same content. One is a text entry, one is a Word document. One got flagged for AI, one didn't. Like, I just can't believe we're spending the money. And I know that something's better than nothing and we want the answer. But I think there are other things we could be spending that money on. I said the taboo thing.
You said
All right.
Well, I'll just quickly add, I can't express how much I appreciate all of the work you guys are doing. In my 9 weeks as dean, I've learned so much. And I thought I was a pretty savvy online writing instructor previously with my faculty hat on, but I've learned so much and it's been such a joy, seeing all of the great work that you're doing. So to echo some of the previously expressed sentiments, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw one little tidbit in from internal, having been on the, again, faculty side and now inside on the ITC. I have to say, as an institution, you all are very lucky to have Alice and Pamela. They are incredibly deep in their passion, knowledge, expertise, and advocacy. So they've been great to work with. And so I'm been happy to have this opportunity.
And we are so lucky to have you, Lauren.
That's not why I said that. I literally just wanted to acknowledge the strengths of the ITC.
It really is true though. I mean, Leslie reads before you and you, so many questions come in and like, okay, accessibility. Yeah, I know how to make a header and, you know, make the table accessible and add alt text. But questions come in that we would bump to Leslie, that we bump to you now, and you answer them with such finesse and confidence. And I'm always in awe whenever I see your response in ITC or I attend one of your sessions. Like, the value of you and this position is not to be overrated.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a about a 10-minute break, so please stretch your legs.
Don't stretch them yet.
Oh,
Don't
my
stretch them
apologies.
yet. Thank you everyone for joining us. For those of you that joined us a few minutes after we started, we really want to just thank you for participating in the celebration of our programs. And we do have a small window, and I realize we have our leadership in the room, and so I wanted to ask if President Cardozo would say a couple of things about program review since we have a little bit of time.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
There you are.
There you go.
There you
Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone. This is such an important process of our accreditation, of our review, of making sure that we are hearing and learning, you know, so much from all the good work that is happening across campus. I appreciate how much time and effort it takes, not just to coordinate, but for all of the program, the faculty, and the staff who have to go through the program review. So please know that we take really good notes during these sessions. You'll begin, I mean, today and tomorrow, right? You'll begin to hear some things, but not just for the program reviews, but also as you're looking at your unit plans, right? Those are some of the things that are coming up for us as leadership. And I just want to just thank you for all the work, because I know this is on top of everything that you are already doing. So really, really appreciate you.
And I just want to, I want to echo, it is time, effort, energy. The reflection is huge. I love hearing about programs and the things that are going on. And I also want to thank Brenda and Veronica for kind of taking, for taking lead on the whole process. So, you know, it takes a village, and this is incredibly important work. And I think it's, I mean, how often do we get to sit here and brag about our folks? I think it's amazing, and you all deserve the kudos. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, I guess you can stretch your legs for a couple of minutes. Luckily, we have restrooms close by.
Basically, it's like, prerequisite prep stuff.
Different animal.
Pictures
of groundhogs, but you're gonna see their grandpa. So.
Are you talking about?
Apparently it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a
People don't
thing
know
that
what it
people
means.
are not really quite sure about.
I wrote so, I've been writing so much today. My pen ran out of ink. I can't read that. Yeah, it is an incredibly cute.
So,
It's Romeo and my department.
yeah, it's Romeo now, yeah, so I just next to figure out how to make sure that Romeo has the information he needs to the job, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who's training, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Oh, was it good?
It needs what you have to do.
They were definitely sweet. Yeah, little tang.
So we were looking at the prep forms from our superintendent. Actually have nothing on it. So, okay, and can you make it specifically next to that?
Trying to think about.
English needed.
But I think the reminder about
I think you'll basically train for a meeting with them. He was right, you guys, right? Anything wrong? Okay, so. Questions and be able to have access to. Really? Okay. So I think probably instead of us doing a game of telephone of us telling Ray and train Romeo, it would be best if we were all in a meeting together and just to train, so that whatever questions come up, we can set up and make sure he has all this.
You go back and pull it
Everybody's
up,
getting
so I
seen
have
in-
multiple. And
If they don't need a prep form. Doing prep, yeah, that form is.
just like they didn't want the word.
Might not have Have a record of what they do.
You mean within the team? I think because I think there are ways to whatever this questions or not. The questions. I told them. Prepping.
Okay.
We can take a break.
All right, so we want to start back, bring it back in.
Add it to Google Doc. Add it to the Google.
Okay. Understood.
We're gonna come back.
No, it was, I don't know about you, but that music was chilling.
That was relaxing.
I've been talking, I would have been sleeping.
Thank you for joining us back. We're gonna move on to our third presenter to hear about philosophy. So Dylan Popowitz, if you'd like to join us. And we're setting up the PowerPoint now.
So appreciate you all sending your slides. There you go. All right. Okay, and I will ask you the same question I asked the previous group. Would you like questions during or at the end?
During is fine.
During, okay. You guys all have a variety. All right, floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I have to admit, I'm very nervous. This is only my third year as a full-time faculty member.
Yay, Dylan!
I feel unprepared. I have not seen this process before, so this is a learning process as much as anything for me.
We don't eat your young, so you get it.
Thank you. So yeah, please do interrupt with any questions you have. Nothing super concrete on the website. I updated the department description just to make it more accurate in describing what we do as a discipline, and to give students a more clear idea of exactly what skills they would acquire in taking a philosophy course, and then updated a few dead links and missing pieces of information. So a lot of what I'm going to say today is really just me saying what I have done in my courses, because I am a department of one.
Good context.
For now.
For now, yes. So we are in the process of hiring a second faculty member. So a lot of what I'll say is what I've been doing, and then vague-ish or abstract plans about how I would like to make that a more concrete departmental-wide thing in the future. So one thing I've been doing, and I apologize for relying on my notes. The main thing I've been doing since I started a couple of years ago is just developing a more diverse curriculum, especially in our main courses. So in our introductory course, 300, and then in our introduction to ethics course, 310. So two things. One, just teaching a more diverse range of philosophical perspectives. Unfortunately, my discipline is one of the worst in terms of just having a very non-inclusive history. So for example, in my ethics course, I've been teaching some Native American philosophy, but I've been adding perspectives that are critical of the tradition as well. So looking at literature that, and discussing with my students literature that criticizes the history of philosophy, or Western philosophy, and its canonical figures. So for example, a very famous example is Immanuel Kant is literally known as the grandfather of modern racism. He is like idolized as one of the greatest philosophers of all time. So we discuss that issue in my courses. Beyond that, I've been trying to foster a transparent, open, and proactive relationship with my students. So one thing I've been doing is just sharing my own educational background with students in my classes. I am an ARC alum. So I just share, and I had a very non-traditional path through education. I was in and out of school for a long time. First-gen student, and so I share my experiences with my students, try to motivate them just to utilize me as a tool. And even if they're not philosophy majors, which most of them aren't, I just emphasize them there to help them and to do anything I can in their journeys. So I spend quite a bit of time just meeting with students, planning their trajectories through college, writing letters of recommendation for them. And then beyond that, just offering flexibility, as much understanding as I can, any kind of assistance for students who are struggling in any of my courses. And then throughout all this, I've been trying to motivate my adjuncts to do the same thing. But I'm also aware that they are overworked and working on many campuses. So as I've probably mentioned a few times, part of my hope for the future is to work with the new faculty hire in developing some kind of guidance for part-time faculty to follow that isn't going to be extra work for them. Yeah, so in the AUP for this year, the 4 things I identified for the department to do in the future was to continue diversifying our curriculum, developing a culturally relevant curriculum, provide students with personalized proactive support, connect students to people, programs, and services as an integrated educational experience, and to promote a culture of innovation. How much time do I have?
You take it? You have to, you have about 7 minutes.
Oh, good. I'm flying through. All right, then I will read every bullet point. So
You got 5 minutes in Q&A.
I'll try to stick to the highlights. Yeah, I would like to, with a new full-time faculty, just continue in developing our syllabi, brainstorm ideas about how to diversify, bring in new perspectives. Secondly, continue to develop new courses for the discipline. So I have 2 new courses currently in tech review. It take me a long time to develop just because of time constraints, but we have an Introduction to Asian Philosophy and the Philosophy of Race, Gender, and Sexuality, which I hope will be available in the next few years. There's a long-term plan to also introduce an Introduction to Africana philosophy course. So yeah, just continue in that trajectory with the help of a second full-time faculty member. And then throughout that, again, try to think of ways to motivate part-time faculty to do the same, again, without overloading them with extra work. For the second point, this is pretty generally just taking what I have been doing for my students and trying to develop a more department-wide plan, course of action to help all my students in all of the philosophy courses. So yeah, hopefully with a new faculty member, we can develop a concrete plan for both of us to follow and for our part-time faculty to follow. A few things had in mind, encourage part-time faculty to hold frequent office hours, answer emails promptly. Yeah, to ensure that all faculty are reaching out to students when we see early signs, warning signs, right? So they stop submitting assignments, declining attendance, etc. Again, a concrete plan, maybe something that we all follow in all of our courses would be great to have. And then also thinking about some kind of departmental-wide incentive for going to office hours and other activities. So maybe some kind of extra credit in all our courses. Yeah, and again, I'm kind of just repeating myself here, but same thing here, just trying to have some kind of departmental-wide system for promoting resources on campus. So 2 things, maybe just having a handout or resource guide for all of our students that all our faculty would share with students. And also I have not been doing a great job of this in my own courses over the last 2 years, but just inviting various programs and services to come and present at the very start of the semester. And again, making that a departmental-wide policy that everyone follows. And again, motivating part-time faculty to do the same without them having to do the extra legwork. So maybe with the extra time I will have once there are 2 of us, I could do that for my part-time faculty, right? Instead of them having to do any of that extra organization. Yeah, and then lastly, this is really just repeating the brainstorming point, but working with a new full-time faculty member just to figure out what we can do in the future to improve our courses. Brainstorming ideas, identifying what is causing some of the disproportionate impact we see in our courses, what we could do to maybe alleviate that. And then related, the only 2 things I am possibly asking for in the future is maybe some non-instructional FTE just to work on these plans, and then any financial support available for faculty to attend discipline-specific pedagogical training. So the 2 main ones for us are through the American Philosophical Association and the American Association of Philosophy Teachers. And I'm sure I'm just repeating what many have said, but we would love to have a centralized classroom space, which I know is in the works, but it does make a difference not having one space where all the faculty are meeting and we're all rushing between buildings, etc. Even simple things like I was thinking the other day of some students, right, don't turn up with a pen and paper on a frequent basis. When I had a Davies Hall classroom, I had a space I could just keep such things, and now it's either I have to carry an extra bag of things around or not be able to help with that. But that is it for me.
Thank you. I'm opening the floor.
Tell me about your in-person, I know it's just you, but I know you have adjunct, in-person, online, kind of what you're seeing, and then also the same OER ZTC, what are you seeing in your field, and how are you incorporating that in for the students?
You mean, sorry, enrollment?
So, yeah, like, I mean, just the course offerings, are you starting to see students want to take more in-person, versus the online? And then for the 0 textbook cost, right, open educational resources, I'm just for the department you are doing.
It still is the case that students prefer the online courses. Those definitely fill up faster. But I've been slowly just upping the percentage of in-person over the last 2 years. I'm forgetting exactly what we're at right now. I think we're at 60 in-person, 40 online. And we've had no issues with in-person classes not enrolling enough this semester. All our courses, and I think last semester too, all ran. So yeah, good signs. Philosophy is one of those disciplines that it just does better in person. So it's really good to see students coming back to that. As for OER ZTC, all of my courses beside one are 0 cost. And the one that isn't is critical thinking. And I'm hoping in the future to implement some kind of OER for that. So maybe something I could write with a new faculty member. And I can't remember, I know a few of my adjuncts do use textbooks, but I think most of my adjuncts have 0 cost as well.
I do want to just say you did it right, by the way. So if you're still worried, you did great. And also, just thinking about all of the great things that you're doing in your references to adjuncts, we have ways to compensate them. So make sure we're using those avenues to make your job easier.
And just want to say thank you. I know how hard it is to be, well, I know personally how hard it is to be a single person department, but I can imagine, I know what needs to be done, including this process. And I'm very appreciative of the work you do.
Not a question, but a comment. One of our student tutors in the LRC recently shared with me that one of the philosophy classes that they took with you was their favorite class at ARC. I just went on and on. They saw you just in passing at the LRC. And so just wanted to share that little kudos, that shout out. You're creating really positive and safe spaces for our students on campus who often have a hard time finding those sorts of spaces. And so I appreciate that. And I know that our students do as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I also want to add, just no, Angela's comment made me think as you were presenting, we are also trying to provide more resources again, so it doesn't fall on you individually. So when you think about student services, we're about to launch, we just launched an internal page for faculty.
About to
It's
launch.
about to launch. So that there's already like the resources are curated for you, right? And so that, I think that'll help both, just in terms of making sure that, you know where they are, know where to find, know who to call, right? If it's something more one-on-one, with your students. So we're working on also getting some of that. But I appreciate the thoughts that were shared here. Thank you.
Thank you. That'd be great.
What are kind of some of the, because you've talked about being more proactive in supporting students. What are some of the kinds of support that you're seeing that your students in particular are needing in order to be more successful in their philosophy classes, of course?
Honestly, in my experience, it's mostly just communication, like them recognizing that they can actually come to faculty for help, which is why Pam left, but I owe Pam Chow this strategy. Since I started teaching here as an adjunct, halfway through the semester, I just share a video where I tell my students about my experience and some of the harder points of my education and how it was the faculty being there that helped me, particularly here at ARC. And just honestly doing that has been, once students recognize that faculty are there to help, it's changes everything. But more on the services side, I do have a couple of students looking for tutors, which we don't have one, so that's one thing we do need to figure out.
Hit me up. We're always hiring student tutors in the LRC, so we can definitely forge that connection.
Thank you.
All right, with that said, it is 3 o'clock. Oh, you did it.
Thank
Mic
you.
drop.
Same time, same place tomorrow. Same time, same place tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Stop recording to the cloud.